Welcome to Top Real Story, your channel for real story, in-depth analysis, and the stories that matter most. From hot headlines to exclusive insights, we've got it all. Subscribe now and stay ahead with Top Real Story. The Café copyright was a hive of clinking cups and murmured conversations, its air thick with the scent of roasted coffee and buttery pastries. Nora perched at her usual corner table, a small island of solitude amidst the chaos. Her laptop glowed softly, the cursor blinking on a half-finished article about urban gardening. She'd claimed this spot years ago, drawn to its view of the bustling city street and the way the light slanted through the window in the late afternoon. At 32, Nora had carved out a quiet life as a freelance writer, her days a blend of deadlines and small rituals like this one. The Café copyright task crowd didn't bother her. She thrived in its hum, a backdrop to her thoughts. She barely noticed the man hovering near her table at first. He was tall, with dark hair that fell slightly over his forehead, his navy jacket rumpled like he'd just stepped off a long flight. In one hand, he balanced a tray with a coffee and a small plate of cookies in the other. He held the hand of a little girl, maybe 5 or 6, with braids and a bright yellow dress. The girl was tugging at his sleeve, pointing at a display of cupcakes. Nora caught his eye as he scanned the room, clearly searching for a seat in the packed Café copyright. His gaze was weary but kind, the kind of look that carried stories. She hesitated, her instinct to guard her space warring with a flicker of empathy. The girl's wide eyes tipped the scale. "You can sit here," Nora said, gesturing to the empty chair across from her. "It's a madhouse today." The man's face lit up with relief. "You're a lifesaver," he said, his voice warm, with a faint accent she couldn't place. Maybe Midwestern, softened by years elsewhere. He guided the girl to the chair, setting the tray down with a practiced ease. "I'm Ethan, and this is Lily." "Hi," Lily chirped, already eyeing the cookies. Nora smiled, closing her laptop halfway to signal she was open to conversation, though she wasn't sure why. Maybe it was the girl's infectious energy or the way Ethan's shoulders relaxed as he sat, like he'd been carrying more than just a tray. "I'm Nora," she said. "You two look like you've had a day." Ethan chuckled, a low, easy sound. "You could say that. We just moved here, and I'm still figuring out how to navigate this city with a kindergartner in tow." "New to town?" Nora asked, sipping her latte. "Where from?" "Chicago, originally. Been bouncing around a bit. Landed here for a broken bar, a fresh start." His words were careful, like he was choosing them from a limited supply. Lily, oblivious, munched on a cookie, swinging her legs under the table. Nora nodded, sensing a boundary she wouldn't push. "Well, welcome to the chaos. This place is a good spot to people watch while you get your bearings." Lily piped up, crumbs on her chin. "Daddy says we're gonna find a new house with a big yard." Ethan's smile tightened, just for a second, before he ruffled her hair. "That's the plan, kiddo." He glanced at Nora. "She's got big dreams." "I'm just trying to keep up." Something about his tone, earnest, unguarded, made Nora's chest twinge. She wasn't one for instant connections, but there was a quiet sincerity in Ethan that felt rare. They chatted lightly, about the city's quirks, the best parks for kids, the way Lily insisted on naming every pigeon she saw. Nora found herself laughing more than she expected, her usual reserve melting under Lily's chatter and Ethan's dry humor. He had a way of listening, really listening, his eyes steady on hers when she spoke, like her words mattered. As the Café copyright task crowd thinned, Nora glanced at her watch. "I should get back to work," she said, though part of her didn't want to break the moment. Deadlines wait for no one. Ethan stood, helping Lily gather her things. "Thanks again for sharing your table. Maybe we'll see you around?" "Maybe," Nora said, her smile lingering as they left. She watched them disappear into the street, Lily's yellow dress a bright spot against the gray city. She shook her head, reopening her laptop. Just a nice guy and his kid, she told herself, nothing more. But over the next week, Nora couldn't shake the encounter. She kept seeing Ethan's tired smile, the way Lily's laugh had filled the Café copyright. She found herself scanning the crowd each afternoon, half hoping they'd walk in. It was silly, she knew. She wasn't looking for anything. Her life was full enough with her writing, her small circle of friends, her routine. Yet something about them had lodged in her mind, like a song she couldn't stop humming. The following Tuesday, they appeared again. Nora's heart did a small, unexpected flip when she saw Ethan push open the Café copyright door, Lily skipping beside him. He spotted her and waved, navigating through the crowd to her table. "Mind if we join you again?" he asked, holding a tray with 2 coffees and a cupcake piled high with frosting. "Go for it," Nora said, pushing her notebook aside. Lily plopped down, already telling a story about a dog she'd seen in the park. Ethan slid into the chair, looking less frazzled this time, though his jacket was still rumpled. Nora noticed a faint scar above his eyebrow, a thin white line that caught the light. "You're becoming regulars," she teased. Ethan grinned, hard not to when Lily's decided this is the best cupcake spot in the city. "It's true," Lily said, licking frosting off her fingers. "They're fluffier than clouds." Nora laughed, charmed by her enthusiasm. They fell into conversation easily, like old friends picking up a thread. Ethan asked about her writing, and she found herself telling him more than she usually shared about the thrill of a perfect sentence, the frustration of editor's notes, the way she sometimes felt like her words were all she had. He listened, nodding, asking questions that showed he got it. In return, he shared bits of his life, how he was setting up a new business, though he was vague about the details, and how Lily was adjusting to a new school. He didn't mention a partner, and Nora didn't ask, though her curiosity simmered. As the weeks passed, their Café copyright meetings became a rhythm. Every Tuesday and Thursday, Ethan and Lily would show up, claiming the chairs across from Nora. She started keeping an eye out for them, her heart lifting when she saw Lily's yellow dress or Ethan's familiar stride. They'd talk about small things, movies, the weather, Lily's latest obsession with sea turtle Essa, and bigger ones, like Nora's dream of writing a novel or Ethan's hope to give Lily a stable home. He never spoke of wealth or status, and Nora didn't think to ask. He was just Ethan, the guy with the kind eyes and the kid who made her laugh. One Thursday, as the Café copyright's lights glowed against the dusk, Ethan leaned back in his chair, watching Lily color a napkin with crayons. "You're good with her?" he said quietly. "Not everyone knows how to talk to kids without talking down to them." Nora flushed, tucking a strand of hair behind her ear. "She's easy to talk to. She's got more personality than most adults I know." Ethan's smile was soft, almost wistful. "She's my whole world. It's just been us for a while now." Nora's curiosity spiked, but she kept her tone light. "You're doing a great job. She's lucky to have you." He looked at her, his gaze steady. "Thanks, Nora. That means more than you know." The moment hung between them, warm and fragile, until Lily held up her napkin, now a riot of colors. "Look, it's a turtle castle." Nora clapped, breaking the tension. "That's the best turtle castle I've ever seen." As they left that evening, Ethan lingered by the door. "Hey, Nora broke in. Would you maybe want to grab coffee somewhere else sometime? Just us?" Her pulse quickened. She wasn't sure if it was the invitation or the way he said her name, like it was something precious. "I'd like that," she said, her voice steady despite the flutter in her chest. They exchanged numbers, and Nora watched them go, her mind spinning. She didn't know what this was, a friendship, something more, but for the first time in a long time, she wanted to find out. The next week, Nora arrived at the Café copyright early, her nerves buzzing. She'd agreed to meet Ethan for coffee the following day, just the two of them, at a small place across town. She told herself it was no big deal, but she'd spent longer than usual choosing an outfit, settling on a sweater and jeans that felt effortlessly her. Now, sitting at her table, she tried to focus on her article, but her thoughts kept drifting to Ethan's smile, the way his hand rested gently on Lily's shoulder. When they walked in, Lily bounded over, holding a small paper bag. "Nora, we got you something." Nora blinked, surprised. "For me?" Ethan followed, looking slightly sheepish. "She insisted. Said you needed a treat for being our Café copyright friend." Inside the bag was a chocolate croissant, still warm. Nora's throat tightened at the gesture. "You guys are too much." "Thank you," Lily beamed, climbing into her chair. Ethan sat, his eyes crinkling with amusement. She's got a knack for roping people into her schemes. They talked as usual, but Nora noticed Ethan seemed distracted, checking his phone more often than usual. When Lily spilled her juice, he cleaned it up with a quiet efficiency, but his jaw was tight. Nora wanted to ask if everything was okay, but something held her back. Instead, she kept the conversation light, letting Lily carry most of it with stories about her new teacher. As they got ready to leave, Ethan's phone buzzed again. He glanced at it, his expression unreadable. "Work stuff," he muttered, more to himself than to her. "Always something." "Everything okay?" Nora ventured. He nodded, but it was quick, dismissive. "Yeah, just a broken bar. Logistics. We'll see you tomorrow, right?" "Tomorrow," Nora confirmed, smiling despite the unease curling in her gut. She watched them leave, Lily waving wildly, and tried to shake the feeling that something was off. The next day, Nora arrived at the new coffee shop, a cozy spot with exposed brick walls and mismatched chairs. Ethan was already there, sitting by the window, but he looked different, sharper, somehow, in a tailored blazer that made her second-guess her casual outfit. He stood when he saw her, his smile warm but edged with something she couldn't place. "You look nice," he said, pulling out her chair. "Thanks," she said, suddenly shy. "You clean up pretty well yourself." They ordered coffee and fell into easy conversation, but Nora sensed a current beneath Ethan's words, like he was holding something back. He asked about her writing, her childhood and the suburbs, her favorite books, and she found herself opening up, the words spilling out effortlessly. But when she asked about his life, he deflected with vague answers about consulting and projects. She didn't push, though the gaps in his story nagged at her. As they finished their coffee, Ethan leaned forward, his voice low. "Nora, I really like spending time with you. I haven't a broken bar connected with someone like this in a long time." Her heart skipped, but before she could respond, his phone buzzed again. He glanced at it, his face hardening. "I'm sorry, I have to take this." He stepped outside, leaving Nora to sip her coffee and wonder. Through the window, she saw him pacing, his voice rising, though she couldn't hear the words. When he returned, his smile was forced. "Everything okay?" she asked again. He hesitated, then sighed. "It's complicated. Work stuff, family stuff. I'll sort it out." She nodded, not wanting to pry, but the unease grew. They parted with a promise to meet again, and Nora walked home, her mind a tangle of warmth and doubt. Ethan was kind, genuine, but there was something he wasn't saying, something big. Part 2, 500 words. Nora didn't see Ethan or Lily for a week after their coffee date. The Café copyright felt emptier without them, her table too quiet. She tried texting him, but his replies were short, apologetical. "Busy with work," he said. She told herself not to overthink it, but the silence stung. Then, on a rainy Thursday, she saw a headline on her phone: "Tech mogul Ethan Caldwell relocates to city, plans major investment." The photo showed Ethan, polished in a suit, no trace of the rumpled jacket or weary smile. Her stomach dropped. Caldwell Industries, a fortune built on software and real estate. A single father, recently widowed, raising his daughter alone. Nora sat back, stunned. The man who'd shared her table, who'd laughed at Lily's stories, was a millionaire. A billionaire, maybe. She scoured the article, piecing together the gaps he'd left out: his wife's death 2 years ago, his retreat from public life, his move to start anew. The work stuff was likely a multi-million-dollar deal, not some vague consulting gig. When Ethan and Lily appeared at the Café copyright the next day, Nora's heart raced. Lily ran to her, hugging her legs, but Ethan's eyes were cautious, searching her face. "You saw the article," he said quietly, not a question. Nora nodded, her throat tight. "Why didn't you tell me?" He sat, running a hand through his hair. "I wanted to, but it's a broken bar. Complicated. People change when they know. I liked that you saw me, not the money." Nora's chest ached, torn between hurt and understanding. "I wouldn't have cared, Ethan. I liked you, the real you." His smile was sad. "I know. I'm sorry. I just a broken bar. I've been burned before." And Lily, she needs real, not people chasing headlines. Lily, oblivious, colored a new napkin. Nora looked at her, then back at Ethan. "So what now?" He leaned forward, earnest. "I want to keep seeing you. No secrets this time. Just us, Amy, Lily, and you, if you're willing." Nora hesitated, the weight of his world pressing against her simple one. But his eyes, steady and warm, held the same man she'd met weeks ago. She thought of Lily's laugh, the croissant, the way Ethan listened like her words were gold. Maybe it wasn't simple, but it was real. "Okay," she said softly, "but no more hiding." His relief was palpable. No more hiding. They sat together, Lily chattering, the Café copyright hum wrapping around them. Nor didn't know what came next. A billionaire's life was foreign, daunting, but as Ethan's hand brushed hers, she felt a spark of possibility. Maybe, just maybe, this crowded Café copyright had given her something worth keeping.